synopsis over a movie called Kindergarten Cop. It's about a cop that goes undercover as a kindergarten teacher. Obviously doesn't have very much experience, so first I'll tell you about the 3 ineffective qualities that I found in the movie of him teaching kindergarten. At the very beginning of the movie, the first thing I noticed was just his teacher presence, that it wasn't developed, that he didn't know how to treat them age appropriately. Most of them are 5 or 6 years old, and he yelled a lot, he got angry really easy, and he towered over them. He didn't make eye contact or get eye level. When he engaged with them, he was a little rough or a little aggressive. He didn't know the right questions to ask, what they would understand, what's developmentally appropriate, what discussion points, what they should be learning, all of those things that are just age appropriate and developmentally appropriate. He just didn't know, and that's a part of being an effective teacher and having your teacher presence. Another ineffective quality that I found was just his lack of procedures. At the beginning of the movie, there was a fire drill, and him and the kids were just freaking out. It was chaos because he didn't have any procedures to follow through with that they had practiced. So the kids didn't know what to do, he didn't know what to do, and most of all, it was not safe, which is the goal of every procedure, is to keep the kids safe. A third ineffective quality that I found was just crossing the line of family involvement. Obviously, through the movie, he was looking into the parents' backgrounds to see if they were a part of the crime, and so obviously that's not realistic, but in real life, violating FERPA and keeping your teacher professionalism with the relationships that you develop with the students and with their parents is really important. So that was not an ineffective quality that he had. On the other hand, as the movie went on and he practiced and he got to know the kids, he did exude 3 effective qualities in an effective teacher. And one of those was that his teacher presence improved. He learned how to handle them, how to talk to them. He developed a callback through his whistle that showed them, when I blow the whistle, I expect you to come to the carpet, stop what you're doing, and be quiet. And of course it worked. He trained them in that procedure, and it worked. And his teacher presence developed. He had a flow. He earned respect from them. And he seemed more confident, and they were more confident in him. Another effective quality that I saw was his connection with parents. Even though he did start out way too invasive, he came to know the kids, the children, the students, what they liked, what they didn't like, why they were as crazy as they are, why they asked the questions that they asked. And he did that through getting to know them and then having discussions with their parents that reflected the learning of the students. And that's very effective. And the last effective quality that I noticed was his discipline and classroom management. It's hard to be a policeman and learn how to discipline 5-year-olds, but he learned how. He used his own culture. He would have them march outside and recite things from class, and that was good. It got their energy out, but most of all, that was his style. That was his way of managing the classroom and keeping them under control, and that's something that he developed over time to be an effective teacher with. So his classroom management and discipline, his connection and the way that he treated the students, and his presence, those all developed throughout the movie and proved to make him an effective teacher. I learned a lot from this movie, even though it's kind of silly. I learned that no matter how much I learn in college or how many years I teach, it's about me, it's about the students. In order for me to teach the students well, I have to develop who I am so that they clearly know who I am, because I know who I am. It gives me the confidence that I need, and also planning. Coming into it, he had no plan. He didn't have procedures. He didn't have lessons. It was just crazy. So as time went by, he planned out what they were going to do. He used their time effectively, and therefore they were better learners, and they listened to him well. And they weren't so crazy because he had his marching going on. So, also about classroom culture, that I get to create my own classroom culture. There's no right and there's no wrong. Other teachers looked at him like he was crazy when he had them marching, but that was his classroom culture. They understood that they could work hard for him, that they'd be tired, but that they needed to listen to him and do things his way, but that he's going to teach them and take care of them. They didn't have to fear him. So my classroom culture can look the way that I make it, and they'll just kind of fall into the mold. So even though it was a silly movie, it was really fun to watch and to learn how, coming from any profession, any person can learn how to be a teacher, but it takes practice and it takes effort and it takes an effective classroom management in order to help them learn.